The orbital station's cantina hummed with the usual evening crowd, traders, travelers, and those stuck between worlds. Liza wiped down the polymer counter for the third time that hour, her violet fingers working methodically across its surface. The purple hue of her skin caught the station's artificial lighting, making her stand out among the mostly human patrons. She'd been working double shifts for 6 months now, and exhaustion had become her constant companion. "Another round," a merchant called out, and Liza forced a smile she didn't feel. That's when he walked in. Cairo Vex moved through the cantina like he owned every molecule of air in the room. His dark hair was swept back, his jaw sharp enough to cut glass, and his expensive suit marked him as someone from the upper decks. Liza had seen his type before, rich, entitled, passing through without seeing people like her. But then his eyes met hers, and something flickered there. Desperation. He approached the bar slowly, deliberately, and took a seat directly in front of her. "I need to speak with you privately," he said, his voice low and urgent. "I have a business proposition." Liza raised an eyebrow. "I'm not interested in whatever you're selling." "I'm not selling anything. I'm buying." He slid a data pad across the counter. 24 hours of your time as my wife. Legal marriage contract. 50,000 credits transferred immediately. Liza's heart stuttered. 50,000 credits would cover her brother Finn's medical treatments for the next year. But marriage? This is insane. Why would you? My grandfather's will requires me to be married to access my inheritance. Without it, the Vex colony dies. 3,000 people lose their homes, their livelihoods. His eyes searched hers. "I know how this sounds, but I'm out of options and out of time. The inheritance review is tomorrow morning." "Why me?" Liza asked, her mind racing. "Because you're not connected to my social circles. No one will question a whirlwind romance with someone from the service sector. And because..." He paused, "You look like someone who understands desperation." Liza thought of Fun in the medical bay, his Zorani physiology struggling against the rare disease that human medicine barely understood. She thought of the mounting debt, the collections notices, the way she'd started skipping meals to save credits. "One night," she said finally. 24 hours exactly. Contract only. Contract only, Cairo agreed, but something in his expression seemed almost disappointed. 2 hours later, they stood in the station's registry office, a bored clerk processing their marriage documents. The ceremony was perfunctory, no flowers, no music, just digital signatures and legal bindings. When the clerk pronounced them married under interstellar law, Cairo took her hand formally, professionally. But Liza felt the warmth of his palm against hers, the slight tremor in his fingers that matched her own. "We should go to my quarters," Cairo said as they exited the office. "The inheritance administrator might check on us, and we need to appear legitimate." Liza nodded, her throat dry. She'd agreed to this, taken his money, signed the contract. 24 hours. She could pretend for 24 hours. His quarters on the upper deck were larger than her entire shared apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the stars beyond the station, and the furniture looked like it cost more than she'd make in 5 years. "There are separate sleeping areas," Cairo said quickly, sensing her discomfort. "You don't have to, we're not, this is just for appearances." But as Liza stood in the starlight, watching this stranger who was now legally her husband, she wondered why his reassurance felt less like relief and more like disappointment. Cairo ordered dinner from the station's finest restaurant, and they sat across from each other at his dining table, the awkward silence stretching between them like an unexplored galaxy. "You don't have to do this," Liza said, gesturing at the elaborate meal. "I'm paid already." "I know. But we still have to eat." He pushed a plate toward her. "Tell me something real. Not the contract. Just, who is Liza when she's not working double shifts?" She studied him, suspicious of his kindness. But his eyes held genuine curiosity. I want to be a botanist. Develop crops that can grow in low-atmosphere environments. So many colonies struggle with food security. His face lit up. My colony's main issue is sustainable agriculture. We're dependent on supply shipments that come less and less frequently. Really? What's your soil composition? Liza leaned forward, forgetting herself. They talked for hours. About quantum gardening techniques, about the pressure of carrying others' hopes, about dreams deferred for survival. Cairo confessed his fear of failing his grandfather's legacy. Liza told him about fun, about watching her brilliant brother waste away while she served drinks to people who never saw her. They see you, Cairo said softly. I see you. Something shifted in the air between them. Liza found herself noticing the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, the gentleness in his voice when he spoke about his people. This wasn't supposed to happen. This was business. But when he reached across the table and took her hand, she didn't pull away. This is crazy, she whispered. Completely, he agreed, standing and moving closer. We have 22 hours left on a contract marriage. That's all this is, Liza said, but her voice wavered. Is it? Cairo cupped her face, his thumb tracing her cheekbone. The purple of her skin seemed to glow in the low light. She should say yes. Should maintain the boundary. Instead, she kissed him. It wasn't a contract kiss. It wasn't for show. It was desperate and real and terrifying in its intensity. Cairo pulled her closer, his hands tangling in her hair, and Liza felt something in her chest crack open, something she'd kept locked away for years. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Cairo rested his forehead against hers. Stay, he whispered, and Liza knew he didn't mean just for the remaining hours. That night, they explored each other with a tenderness that surprised them both. Every touch spoke of connection deeper than physical, every kiss a promise neither could articulate. In his arms, Liza felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life. As dawn approached on the station's artificial cycle, they lay tangled together, neither sleeping, neither speaking, both knowing that morning would bring complications neither was ready to face. Liza woke to empty sheets and panic. The contract was complete. She'd fulfilled her obligation. So why did her chest ache like something precious had been stolen? She dressed quickly, preparing to slip away before things became more awkward. But Cairo appeared in the doorway, carrying 2 cups of coffee. Running away already, wife? His tone was light, but his eyes held uncertainty. The 24 hours are almost up, she said, taking the offered cup to avoid looking at him. 6 hours left, actually. He sat beside her on the bed. Stay for breakfast? Please. They ate together on his balcony overlooking the stars, and somehow the conversation flowed as easily as it had the night before. Liza found herself laughing at his story about his first disastrous attempt at colony leadership. Wait, you tried to negotiate with Krellian traders without knowing their language? I accidentally proposed marriage to their captain. Very awkward when I was already engaged to Sarah. Liza's laughter died. You were engaged? Past tense. She wanted the inheritance, not me. Cairo's expression darkened. When my grandfather died and the will's marriage clause became active, she left. Said she wouldn't wait for me to figure out my life. I'm sorry, Liza said softly. Don't be. You've shown me more genuine care in 24 hours than she did in 2 years. Before Liza could respond, the door chimed. Cairo's inheritance administrator, a stern woman named Davros, entered with a security team. Mr. Vex, we need to verify the legitimacy of your marriage, Davros said coldly, her eyes dismissing Liza immediately. This union seems conveniently timed. Our timing is our business, Cairo said firmly. Is it? A marriage to a lower-deck server, completed hours before the deadline? Davros turned to Liza. How much did he pay you? Heat flooded Liza's face, but before Cairo could intervene, she stood tall. He didn't pay me anything that matters. He gave me hope, conversation, and respect, things your type wouldn't understand. This marriage is real, Liza continued, her voice strengthening. Maybe it started unconventionally, but what we found.